Mom's a liar. Respectfully, I feel like she's, but you know what? My mom. Hey, I'm your host, Alexis.
And I'm your co-host, True.
Sit back and relax because you're
in good company.
Guys, in this week's episode, we're going to be discussing something that I feel a lot of people, I hope, discover, kind of grow into, and that's realizing you're a lot hotter than you think, and navigating the realization that you're that girl or that guy or them, because I don't discriminate.
I love
You're
that.
them. So, okay. Real talk though, these past few weeks, few months, I have been, I think struggling a bit with coming to terms with the fact that there are a lot of amazing people in this world. And that is okay. Yeah. That is okay. But because I think I talked about this on previous episodes, when you're in an environment and everyone is giving like their best, giving their all, and is doing what they need to do to be on top of their game, you can kind of lose yourself within that. But finding yourself again within an environment like that, I think is a very beautiful thing. And I know for True as well, because we're not in the same environment, but I know you definitely have. Girl, she got a big girl job, so she probably be having this in a whole other way. I'm not.
It's different, especially when you're in a new environment. You're picking up on certain traits that the majority have. You're picking up on the values that the majority have, and you're kind of reassessing. You're like, whoa, wait a minute. Am I doing enough? And it kind of does leave you spiraling for a little bit, but I mean, it goes back to today's main thesis, today's main thing. You're that girl, you're that guy, you're them.
Truly.
So,
we should have that on a t-shirt.
Merch?
I don't know. But, okay, I will say, and I think you explained it in a really good way, you kind of wrapped it up, because this can happen in a work environment, a school environment, your own home.
Yeah, because you can find traits in any group, when there's a gathering of people, there's always going to be some value that shines through.
Heavy on that. Everyone has their own thing that they bring to the table.
Yep.
And I want to ask True, so growing up, did you feel confident, pretty, etc.? If you didn't, why not? And if you do now, what do you think changed?
So my glow up era happened during the pandemic. I did not feel very confident in my appearance growing up. I didn't nitpick on certain traits that I had, but I guess I grew up in an environment where I was in the online space, and everybody was very self-degrading. They're like, wow, I'm not pretty enough. And because I was in that space, I'm like, oh, am I not pretty enough? Because if they're really pretty, who am I to say? And it was during the pandemic when I kind of disconnected from everything. I was able to explore fashion on my own, took pictures by myself, and learned my angles, learned makeup, that I was like, hey, I can really get it together. But before then, I was not really the most confident person. I was very shy too, so I also judged myself based off of my social value, where I didn't have a lot because I didn't talk to many people.
That's wild. I will say I kind of went through a similar thing during the pandemic, especially senior year of high school, where and I learned to do my makeup way more than I had in the past. I finally learned how to do eyeliner, and that was a huge deal for me.
Yeah, pandemic was eyeliner for me too.
And then I started to work on my style more, and it has evolved a lot since then. But that was the start of me really thinking, okay, what do I like? What do I want to put together? What do I want to invest my money in? And I will say, looking back, I'm a bit saddened because I know part of it was I also didn't feel like I knew how to style my hair when it was curly. I was kind of scared of my hair. I was learning how to do it, but it was also intimidating. And during the pandemic, my hair was flat iron. So when I started to work on my makeup and work on my style, I started to equating me being beautiful with me having my hair straight, which was messed up. I knew it was a bad mindset to have, but I couldn't shake it. I was getting all this attention and all these compliments, and I'm like, okay, what's the difference? And that was one major difference, because not that I was even styling it more interesting, but it was easier for me to work with. So that was an unfortunate truth. I will say I am past that. I got a curly cut, and then I started to really love my curly hair. But there was, I think a lot of black women, black girls go through that, where they feel their hair is more manageable and more liked by like them around and then even themselves when it is like straight or it looks more, I will say, like to white beauty standards, which is sad, but like if you can move past that, I think that's a good thing to like look back on. And some black women, I will say, prefer their have their hair, you know, straight all the time, which is your choice, your hair. But I know that I really wanted to learn how to do my hair, and once I learned how to do it, I found myself liking like my natural features as much as because like the thing is it's still my hair when it's flat ironed, you know, it's
Yeah.
just not in its natural state, and I wanted to learn it. I wanted to love it in all different states that it could be
Mm.
in. So that was like my little journey. And I will say, I guess the internet kind of reinforced you feeling like you weren't pretty enough because really pretty people didn't feel
Mm.
like they were pretty enough. So it's like a comparison
Oh
thing.
yeah.
I think for me, unfortunately, it was bullying. I was bullied when I was
Mm.
younger, and it definitely altered the way I viewed myself because, you know, if everyone in my social circles aren't, I guess, complimenting me and are actively telling me I don't look nice, then I'm going to start to believe I don't.
Mm.
And when I got in high school, that wasn't a thing anymore. But I also never felt like I was like cool or popular. I just felt like I was kind of there because I
Mhm.
wanted to like lay low. I'm like, guys, please, I can't handle being like
Yeah.
overly judged. So I'm just going to
Mm.
do what I want. And then my friends told me like later on after high school, you could have easily been popular if you wanted it. And I'm like, what? I just don't feel like I had. I don't
Aw.
feel like I had whatever I needed to do that. And I think it's the way people view you versus you view yourself.
Heavy. Okay, I just want to say my whole journey of
Mhm.
confidence, when I was exploring on my own, I was really excited. I was like, oh, like, look at these pictures. I honestly didn't start coming out of my shell more until I received positive feedback from my peers.
That's
Because
so real.
at the end of the day, yeah, self worth, amazing. Believing in yourself, amazing. But we live in a community, in a society. And a lot of times we kind of do want that feedback. And it's not a bad thing to say that you want external validation.
Mhm.
Sometimes there's balance, but it's okay to say you want external validation.
Can I say though, I like looking back, and I hate that this is something that I have to admit, but when I was getting validation, I felt that women would easily give it to me,
Mm-hmm.
but like a man, if I got validation from a man, then it didn't mean more, but it happened less. And I hate that that's like how my reasoning is because now that I've gotten older, I really feel like men, like I don't feel like there's standards for pretty. I just as I getting older,
Wow.
I just feel like their standards for what they find attractive is not as high as I thought it was as a kid.
Mm. But it was different. Like you grew up in a space, you grew up in an all girls school,
Yeah, exactly.
and like
So
your whole experience kind of shifts it differently, you know?
heavy.
And I don't think you should, look down on your younger self because like
Yeah,
she was
no,
just
like
figuring
she
it
was going
out.
through. I will say, I remember one of my friends in high school. Her brother ended up telling me that he liked me, and I remember being like, "What? How can that be? I don't get it. Like she has so many pretty friends, and I was never even like, you know, done up when I was at her house." And then I think that was sort of like the first realization I had that somebody could just like me for like me. It doesn't matter how much I do myself up. If someone's gonna like me, they're gonna like me.
Mm.
And I think not that I'm equating, you know, that realization to necessarily him, but it was the first step of like, oh, he's kind of cute, and he thought I was cute. Oh, that's fun, you
Mhm.
know, something like that. But then also it felt so cliche because I'm like, what do you mean you're my friend's brother? Like, this is not nothing's gonna
What
happen
was
from
it? It
this.
was on Nickelodeon. My
Best
best
friend's
friend's
brother
brother
is
was
the
the
one
one for me.
like I was like, am I living
Ah,
in a rom com? But it wasn't. There was no
said,
rom
"Hey,
comming.
yo, Disney Channel, sign the contract."
I said, guys, I got a plot. I got a plot. No, but really, that was wild.
Mhm.
And I also, okay, Trika, I wanted to ask you. I would kind of touch on this. Like, does your self worth come from yourself or from others? I think for me, others help me get to having like higher
Mhm.
self worth, but now it definitely does come from me. But of course, I like being complimented by people that I think like have it together. Like I will say, when cool people give me a compliment, I'm like, wow, like I really got it on.
No, heavy. Like honestly, I love like I'm not on Instagram anymore, but
Mhm.
I was catching up with some friends who used to like really do Instagram stuff with me back in the day.
Mhm.
And I was like, dang, like being and talking with her like makes me feel a lot more motivated now because it's like we had that repertoire of like yeah, like you're a baddie, da 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 da.
Mm-hmm.
All of that stuff kind of builds up and it really helps. And honestly, yeah, like self-worth comes from inside. It comes from yourself. If you
Yeah, heavy
believe that
on
you're
that.
valuable, it will shine through. I personally am still kind of working through that at the moment.
Mm,
I was a lot more confident when I started PG, but I think right now I'm in a little bit of a limbo, and
that's
that
real.
has affected my confidence a
That's
bit.
real.
Um, so I'm kind of getting there, but I'm also doing a social media detox, and that adds like and that removes external validation, which I think is healthy. So I have to
Heavy.
like reorganize and kind of reevaluate what I deem valuable. And it's just
Mm,
like it's a learning I'm in a learning stage at the moment. So, yeah, I don't know.
I think that's so real. I know for me, I can definitely relate to having like different stages of my life where I felt a lot more confident.
Mm.
And I think it's kind of scary how easily you can lose that confidence within yourself. And then you can find yourself in it again. Like it's almost like whiplash at times.
Yeah, for
And I'm
sure.
like, whoa, I thought I had it all together. And now I'm doubting myself. Like, what's going on? Like,
It
I
goes up and
don't
down.
exactly. And I do say, definitely, it's not that other people can give you validation, but the people you surround yourself by and the things that they tell you, I think that they hold a lot of weight. And as I've gotten older, I've been able to make my circle of people those who like really support me and like want to see me doing well and want to see me succeed and are very supportive. And because of that, I think it's boosted my self confidence because when you surround yourself by loving people, like you're gonna feel loved. Like obviously
Yeah.
you're gonna love yourself more. They can't make you love yourself, but I think it's a step in the right direction when you're, you know, maybe you're self-deprecating and then you other have people around you who do the same. It is hard to find things that you like about
Heavy.
yourself.
No, heavy because that online space when I was in middle school, everybody was self-deprecating. Don't do that to yourself.
Mm-mm.
Don't do that to yourself.
Right, like everything that I thought everything I didn't like about myself was because other people told me they didn't like it about me, and they
Mm.
reinforced those ideas into my head until it became, because like almost like a truth. Because I guys, there's this little therapy talk. There are things called core beliefs that you
Mm.
believe like make up who you are as a person. You just like, they're undeniably unshakable things that you just believe are true. Doesn't matter about like facts or anything. Like you take it as truth,
Facts.
obviously.
Yeah.
And it's hard to, I guess, unravel those. But if you challenge your core beliefs, if they are negatively, like, I guess, adding to your life, if you're saying the opposite, I heard, because my therapist said, y'all, she had really good advice. She said, if you are to have somebody you care about go against that negative core belief, you're more likely to believe it because you value their opinion and you believe their
Mm.
opinion more than you believe your own right now. It feels like a lie if you were to go oppose what you are telling yourself. But if someone who you trusted their opinion and you felt like they saw parts of yourself that you didn't see within yourself, you're
Mhm.
more likely to feel like, okay, this does hold weight, and it can start to undo like these very
Yeah.
damaging thoughts. And I think
Mhm.
that was an exercise that like worked really well for me because
Yeah.
there's certain people I'm like, my mom's a liar. Respectfully, I feel like she, but you know what? My mom don't be lying because she be telling me when I look crazy. I'm not gonna lie to you, but
Girl,
I
I
feel
am
like there's,
clipping that for the first 2 seconds of our show.
I feel like there are certain people in my life who I feel, um, will, you know, they want to spare my feelings more. They want to tell me the truth, and there are
Mm.
other people in my
Oh,
life who are
like the
gonna tell it
silver and gold
right.
jewelry.
I will tell you, my mom, I switched from silver to gold jewelry, and she looked at me on my birthday from the backseat and said, that silver looked dingy. Thank God. Thank God you went to gold. So I'm not going to say, I feel like, but why she wait so long to tell me though?
Why did she tell
Why she
you,
wait so
hey,
long to tell
honey?
me? No, but real talk, I say, the way you obviously self talk means a lot,
Mm-hmm.
but obviously the people surround yourself means a lot. So I think there's a balance of having both.
Heavy, heavy. Honestly, I just like for transparency, I haven't been doing a lot of positive self talk. I've been trying my best. A lot of the people that do surround me have a lot of empathy and positive
Mm-hmm.
self talk for me. Or, sorry, positive affirmations for me.
Mm,
A lot of them, believe in my potential to do whatever I want with my life. And it is really reassuring to hear them speak like that sometimes
right.
of me, especially when I am down in the dumps. But it's also kind of crazy. I don't know if you've had this experience, but like just a random stranger that you don't even know would give you this compliment or like this thing that they notice about you, and it just sticks with you.
Heavy, yes. I've totally experienced that.
Yeah, I like remember when I was still going through my like am I pretty phase. This is like pandemic high school era when I was like just emerging.
Yeah, and guys, I just say it's insane because when Truxo had her Instagram, she was very pretty. She was
Oh,
very,
thank
very
you.
pretty. And she was sitting here
Yeah.
having doubts.
Yo.
I would go back to the photos. I'm like, what the shuck is she talking about?
Oopsies.
What the shuck? But it's okay. We all have those
But
thoughts.
I was at this like group meeting and it was of all ages and I was just hanging out with this little girl. She was holding my hand and she looked up to me and she said, "You're really pretty." That shot me right in the heart.
Little kids don't lie.
And I said, "Thank you so much." And then you know what she said right after? She said, "Your hands are really sweaty."
Little kids don't lie. Like,
And I was nervous, so you know my
that
hands
makes
were
sense.
sweaty. But like it really stuck with me because I'm like, oh wow, I felt good that day, and she really reinforced it. And
Right.
like I don't remember her voice anymore, but her thoughts and her what she spoke about, keeps me going.
Heavy on that. And I will say, I think that's why as I get older, I have one friend and she's just so like warm and bubbly, and like she'll just have all these conversations and these experiences with like people who are strangers and then they're not strangers, and I watch it and I'm like, I'm in awe. I'm like, the way you like just move throughout the world is so like inspiring to me. And after spending some time with her, I was like, girl, I want to be more like you. So I have gone out my way to just approach people that I find like,
Wow.
and like just give them a compliment. I'm like, I don't need to have continued like communication, but if I think something, I want to say it. I want to not be so like,
Yeah, spark joy in somebody else's
exactly.
day.
And then also I find that after interacting with somebody, joy has been sparked in my day because it's kind of like a back and forth.
Heavy,
And
yeah.
I'm like, I like this. Especially, I think it's easy on a college campus to just talk to somebody you don't know.
Right.
Other
the
environments
setting
might be like
allows
kind of,
it.
oh my goodness, like this is appropriate. But like we're both in the cafeteria. I pay you a compliment, you pay me a compliment. And I've actually been able to meet some super dope people from just, putting myself out there in a way
Yeah.
a few years ago I never would have. Like I
Truly.
never would have. It just wouldn't have happened. So shout out. It's
Shout out
growth.
for
It's
real.
growth.
No, because when you are kind of engaging in just like positive repertoire, it bounces back like this positive feeling, this positive vibe.
Yeah, like they match my freak.
Somebody gonna match.
Like a compliment more off. It's so fun. Like
Super cute.
I will say, I'm trying to think of like anything I've been told that's like really like touched me from a stranger, and I can't recall, which is like really bothering me. But I will say from like people who do mean a lot, when I hear the way like they speak about me, I'm like, wow. I feel like people can be very self-deprecating, so whatever you feel about yourself is not necessarily the truth. It's skewed because you have an skewed perspective.
Yeah.
Skewed perspective of yourself that other people may have, but like not to the same extent.
It's because like you see the day to day, you see when you fail or you see when you make an excuse for yourself, but like people don't see that, and people choose to see you with love, and it's nice to have a balance
That's
of
true.
everything.
But I was gonna say, I even feel like your lived experiences and the way you are treated early on can affect how you view yourself. Like it's not actually accurate at all, even if you are saying like you're the things that you do that you're not as proud of, which you can acknowledge. But like at the end of the day, I'm sure that whatever bullying experience I've had have skewed how like I see people laughing. I'm assuming it's about me. Like I'm not being egotistical. It's like because of my past lived experiences that's proven to be true. And it's like it could be completely off,
Yeah.
So I think my own reality isn't 100%, and that's like an important thing to remember. So like even if I don't feel like I gave a good performance, that doesn't mean the audience think I like gave a lackluster performance and different things like that. But I will say, being in a new environment with people that I think are super dope, I think getting that same energy back and then being just as like easily enamored or impressed with me it's been healing. Like other people's opinions I don't want it to be like how other people view you is the only way to be confident, because it's not.
Yeah.
But they can help you get to a place where you feel more confident about yourself, and I think it's important to acknowledge that, and that is how you can become that girl, that guy, or them.
Yes.
Like,
I love this reoccurring bit. I'm actually really liking
I
it.
love it. Like I'm kind of a genius.
I hate that.
No, but truly, I think it's a beautiful thing when the people around you can help you grow more love for yourself.
I like the journey of self-love, confidence, and like just figuring yourself out
Heavy on that.
is such a long one, and I know we're still on the younger side,
Yeah.
and I'm so excited to see how much more we can grow.
Heavy.
Because it's not like everybody says this, and it's so cliche that like progress is not a straight line and there's up and downs. But like I'm excited to see what the next up is, because I
Heavy
know
on that.
it's there. And believing that there's another up, that there's more growth afterwards is really exciting, and that is what I'm kind of like holding on to at the moment.
Period. I love that. Like definitely, I will say, guys, as we do like our little closing bits, just give someone a compliment. You see them, if they don't like return your energy, that's okay. But
That
someone
is
is
the call to action today.
heavy on that. Like compliment somebody. Say it.
Mm-hmm.
Say it and just see where it goes, because you never know. That could be a whole new person that you love having in your life that you've brought in.
Yeah.
So I think that's
really
just a
sweet.
beautiful thing to think about. So yeah, guys, we're going to do our closing bits. And I feel this song is like the epitome of pining. And okay, let me find the name of it, because why am I blanking now? It is called Chest Pain, and then I Love is in quotations by Malcolm Todd. Super catchy. I've been listening to it on repeat. And if you're a piner like me, it's gonna do what it needs to do for you. So Truk, what's your little bit?
All right, so my little bit is, what did I learn this week? I've been getting into more of career research and what I want to do later on in my next university, my next academic journey. And I was looking into marketing, and I got to learn about email marketing. So Google, like Gmail, Outlook, all of that has specific words that actually filter out emails before it goes into your inbox. A lot of times brands would be like, check your spam folder just in case. That's because they use words such as like free, 100% off, or like specific terms that flag their email. So if you're interested in like all that marketing stuff, like keep an eye, because I know TikTok has words that get shadow banned. So it's kind of this thing that just is an overhaul of all of the different, applications that we use. Like keep in touch about what words are acceptable, what words are not, and using the correct words gets your content boosted.
Period. And can I say, when True was saying this, I really thought she was going with like the whole, I guess, bit where, just reach out to companies, just put yourself out there and see what happens, like a little cute email. And the reason I was thinking of this is because recently I messaged, so I read this book. I love this book. I'm like, oh my gosh, like this is probably my top book of the year. And I found the author on TikTok. He's not like super big, but well enough known, but it's his first book, so it's like a debut.
Okay.
And he was like, guys, if you like my book, like let me know. So I was like, I'm just gonna like message this man on Instagram and say, I really loved your work. And he was like, oh, thank you so much. Like he responded, and it was really exciting, because I've never reached out to directly to somebody whose work I loved. And then on top of that, I got a response. So I thought that was so fun.
Hey, honestly, it relates to this episode. Put yourself out there and see what returns
back.
Heck
yeah. Not to mention that people love getting compliments. Like you assume people feel some type of way.
It relates. Everything relates.
It all connects. But yeah, this book is called This Is Why They Hate Us. And it was very angsty and pining and friends to lovers. And it was cute, guys. Like, just check it out. I'm gonna let you know. I'm gonna shout it out on the screen somewhere.
That book relates to the song that you just recommended too.
It does.
Everything is always connected.
Oh my god, everything is full circle. Oh my god. Wait, that's so fun. That connection is so fun.
We're just
I wish I had known about the song when I was reading the book, because I would have been like,
you've been bopping to it with that book.
Yeah. Shout out to you. Oh my god, someone needs to make an edit of the book with the song, please. More fans. But yeah, guys, as we close up, I want to say shout out to Bobby and shout out to the Humanities Department. We will see you guys next Thursday.
Bye.